I'm Bob the Cigar Guy. This is Travelers Rest, South Carolina. And you saw the title. Too much compromise? And it does not escape me that I am smoking a Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Sin Compromiso. There is never too much Sin Compromiso in my life. And I mean that. This is one of my favorite cigars ever, 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 ever. When I get a chance, I grab this thing first thing. It is hard not to drain the humidor of these cigars. And Chief likes them too. So I got to play nice, but I don't always. Sometimes I take more than my share because this thing is fantastic. Steve Saka, living a life without compromise, kind of. He lives a life without compromise when it comes to making sure that you get the best cigar smoking experience that he can provide for you every single time. It is his goal. It is his purpose. It is his ethos to make sure that he gets you cigars, as many as he can provide for you, as great a flavor profile as possible. He wants to make sure that they taste the same as the first time you fell in love with them all the time. Consistency and flavor quality. He wants to make sure that it's got good draw, it's got good burn, it's got good everything. He is focused on that without compromise. But in his life, I bet he puts up with stuff. And that's what I want to talk about today. I went to come on, hurry up, toast. I want to puff you. I went to a major cigar event last weekend. Me, the First Lady and Chief. Had a blast. What? We had to fly. TSA loves me. I get a TSA handshake every single time. You're not supposed to have to take off shoes anymore. I had to take off my shoes. I had to take off my hat. I had to leave my dignity at the door. But we got to our plane. Now, there's another feller that he was going to. He's a good friend of ours. I'm going to say, let's call him Will. And Will flies all the time. And Will flies first class. He does. He's one of the good guys. He's a big fella. He's imposing, kind as all get out. But, you know, he could be intimidating if he wanted to be. He's got his first class seat, the big wide seats, right? There's three of us sitting together in our regular area, and there's two there, and they got drinks and they got all this and that, and they are. I got a little hair floating around in my bill of my hat. It's driving me crazy. Oh, sorry. Wishing I had it. Anyway, he's ready to get on a plane. He's got his little headset. He's got his little bag. He's all comfortable and ready to go. He's paid for his ticket. He scans in with the lady, walks down the gangway or whatever it is, the gangplank or runway, or I don't know what it's called. Anyway, he walks down to the plane. And he goes to get on, and his seat's up front. He shows the person the ticket on his phone, and there's a lady sitting in that seat, his seat. And so he tells the attendant nicely, he goes, ma'am, that lady right there is on my seat. And she goes, yeah? He goes, yeah. And showed him the ticket, and he goes, yeah, your name's on the ticket. That's your seat. Absolutely. So we're taking our time because, you know, first class sports first. We're in like zone 6, so we wait a while. All this whole time, he's standing there out of the way, being very polite, very kind. And they go to this lady and say, ma'am, you're in the wrong seat. And she goes, no, I'm not. And she pulled up her phone, and it did not say the seat. And so they called back to see. She says, this is my seat. And they called back to the whatever. And they said, we got two people in one seat. What's going on? And so they contacted and they said, it is Will's seat. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened, but it's Will's seat. Now, Will's, like I said, he's an imposing man. He's big as I am. He's stronger. He's a good size fella. And I will tell you that those seats that I sit in are not comfortable. They are fittable if you get an aisle seat. and hopefully the next person next to you is smaller. First lady's next to me, so I'm good, right? I don't mind scunching up on her anyway, but I don't have to because she's so petite. Anyway, so they say, ma'am, that's not your seat. That's his seat. She goes, I'm not moving. Ma'am, that's his seat. I don't care. I have sat down. I am not moving. Now, Will has a right to that seat. He does. And they said, but ma'am, that's his seat. She goes, I don't care. I'm not moving. So they went to Will and they said, hey, she don't want to move. So we can do one of two things. We can compensate you in some way, shape, or form, and you have to sit back in the Bob the Cigar Guy Chief section, which is stowage. Or we can call the marshals. We can stop the plane. We can stop from boarding. And we can have the police come take her off the plane because that is your seat. Will would have been in his right. And that lady was being ugly. He was being kind. Will was being kind. That lady was being ugly. And Will had every right to say, nah, I want my seat. I paid for my seat. It's my seat. She's being a turd. I want my seat. But he didn't. He said, it's all right. I'll sit back in the back. Now, I did message him when I found out everything was going on, and he told me what was going on. I messaged him. I said, dude, if you want me to, I'll give you my seat and I'll just catch the next plane. I was going to do that. Will's a good friend of mine. I would do that for him because he needed to be there. But he took a seat. He compromised. And that's nice. It's kind. So I was proud of him. He was right to say, get out of my seat. And he didn't. But the thing that sticks in my jaw and the thing that has me talking about this and the thing that stuck with me for a whole week is the fact that when all was over, she gets in a pickup truck where we unload and disembark. And she looks back and she goes, thanks for my seat. And left. And I'm like, really? So I understand compromise. I understand giving grace. Lord knows I need grace every day. I understand it. But when somebody goes through life just saying, I don't care what the rules are, I just want to do whatever I want to do for me, and then I'm going to think it's funny because I can get away with it, I got a problem with that. I do. And then over the week, I don't know if, when you buy a red car, every car you see is red, right? I don't know if that was the case, but it just seemed like I saw people take advantage of kindness over and over and over again, and then just laugh about it like they were entitled when they weren't. I don't care for it when somebody's entitled and they take their entitlement, honestly. But when you don't have that entitlement and you still act like it, that just stinks. So I thought I'd come on for a couple minutes because I really want to smoke this cigar. And this was a perfect segue for me to smoke a Sin Compromiso. So if Chief says, how come we out of Sin Compromisos? Well, I had to do a review and I had to use a Sin Compromiso for the review. Yeah. So I used you a little bit. Good compromise. So kudos to Will on that lady. She's not nice. If you have comments, I'd love to know if this has happened to you lately or if this is I just ran into a blip of it. I'd like to know. And when you have to compromise on life and you want to take a moment of peace and pause for yourself by smoking a cigar, don't compromise on that. Might I suggest a Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust cigar? Might I suggest Send Compromiso. That's what I do. Hope you do too. I'll see you later. Later, Tater.